Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Dallas Films back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the AL All-Stars for 2019, and this is who I think are deserving, and you have to remember that each team has to be represented, so I kept to that, and I kind of kept it similar to the roster structure of last year. I think I have 7 outfielders instead of 6, and I don't think much has changed. I have about 2 per position and a couple of relievers, and let's just get into it. And remember, this is an opinion-based video, so tell me why I'm wrong in the comments, why I didn't pick your favorite player, or anything else. Tell me your favorite type of cheese, pizza, I really don't care. Just put a comment if you want, tell me I'm wrong, I love seeing it. Let's get into it. So let's begin with the starters, and our first starter is starting pitcher. And our starting pitcher is Jake Odorizzi of the Minnesota Twins. Jake, with a 10-2 record, has a 2.24 ERA with a 2.99 FIP and 2.4 WAR in 2019. He's really exploded since coming to Minnesota. In Tampa Bay, he's kind of but he's had a wonderful 2019 campaign, and I think he'll keep it up and earn that starting pitcher role in the All-Star game. And our first base starter is Carlos Santana of the Indians. Santana is having a career year this year, leading in WAR for first baseman with a 391 WOBA, with a walk percentage higher than the strikeout percentage and an ISO of 236. He's hit 14 home runs for 42 RBIs and just having a wonderful season, easily the best first baseman in the AL. And our starting second baseman for the AL is Tommy La Stella of the Los Angeles Angels. Tommy's hitting 15 home runs with 39 RBIs, good enough for a weighted runs created plus of 141, which leads AL second baseman. He has a 1.1 defensive rating with a 2.2 WAR, just under Brandon Lau for second place. Now for third base, we have Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros. Alex is leading the AL third baseman in WAR, also putting up 155 weighted runs created plus. He's hit 19 home runs, which leads AL third baseman, and 48 RBIs, which also leads AL first baseman. He's got a higher walk percentage than K percentage, and has a slugging percentage of 545. He's been wonderful this year, and he's our starting third baseman. And now for the shortstop position, and there's 3 really good shortstops in the AL, and I'm going to go over all of them because they're all going to be in the All-Star game. But I think the starter is going to go to Jorge Polanco of the Minnesota Twins, who's third in WAR in the AL for shortstops, but has the highest weighted runs created plus with 150, also putting up 10 home runs with 37 RBIs, hitting 333 with a slugging of 562. I think he's just been so good offensively. Not great defensively, but still good, and good enough to start the All-Star game at shortstop. Now we're going to move on to our 3 outfield positions, and the first one's obvious, it's Mike Trout, leading the AL in WAR with a 4.4, 177 weighted runs created plus, also put up 18 home runs, 44 RBIs, with 7 stolen bases, and a 21.1 walk percentage, which is unbelievable, slugging of 603, this guy is unbelievable, it's Mike Trout. Our next outfielder is maybe someone you wouldn't expect unless you're a Twins fan, and it's Max Kepler. He's second in the AL outfield with a 2.4 WAR. He's thrown up 133 weighted created plus and playing excellent defense as well. He's hit 17 home runs and has a 549 slugging percentage with a 372 WOBA, which is quite great. And our final starting outfielder is Austin Meadows of the Tampa Bay Rays. Meadows got off to a scorching start at the beginning of the season, and then got hurt, but has continued his reign of dominance over the AL. He's currently 6th in the AL in WAR with a 2.0. He has a 155 weighted runs created plus with a 315 average, a 390 OBP, and a 571 slugging, good enough for a 397 WOBA. Next is our catcher position, and this one's an obvious one. It's Gary Sanchez of the New York Yankees. He's got a 1.6 WAR. No other AL catcher even qualifies, but he's having an unbelievable start. 20 home runs, good enough for 43 RBIs with a 609 slugging and a 143 weighted runs created plus. And our final starter for the AL is the DH, and that's going to go to JD Martinez of the Boston Red Sox. JD's been scorching hot recently, up to 16 home runs with 39 RBIs, 1.8 WAR, and 144 runs created plus. And now for our reserves. So I'm going to start with the starting pitching. And our first starting pitcher is going to be Lucas Giolito. Lucas has been unbelievable for the White Sox, and he's our only All-Star in my list. He's won 10 games, leads the AL starting pitching in WAR with a 3.0, has a 2.2 ERA, but his xFIP is 3.71 and his FIP is 2.7. Our next starting pitcher is Justin Verlander of the Houston Astros. Since coming to the Astros, JV has been one of the best pitchers in baseball, and this year is just the same. He's got a 2.4 WAR with a 2.41 ERA, 100.2 innings pitched. He's won 9 games. His FIP is a little high, which is why he's not the starter, but that's about it. Our next starting pitcher is also from the Astros. It's Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole leads the AL in strikeouts. He has a 2.6 WAR, has won 6 games, and has a 3.67 ERA, which might seem high, but he is just dominating these hitters, and actually has a 3.03 FIP with a 2.47 xFIP. Our next starting pitcher is Chris Sale of the Boston Red Sox. Though having a 3-7 record, Sale has been unbelievable in 2019 with the third highest AL WAR for starting pitchers. He's got a 3.49 ERA, but a 2.8 FIP and a 2.91 xFIP. Top 3 in strikeouts and having a great season, and his last few starts have been unbelievable. And our final starting pitcher from the AL is Jose Barrios. Barrios has a 3.01 ERA, combined with a 2.2 WAR with a 3.77 FIP and a 4.21 xFIP. There was a lot of people I considered for this, including Mike Minor, Charlie Morton, Lance Lynn, Matt Boyd, Frankie Montas, Blake Snell, just to name a few. But I'm going to give it to Jose Barrios because I feel like he's just been the most dominant and helped the team the most. And now for our relievers. And our first reliever is our only non-closer, and that's going to be Ryan Presley of the Houston Astros. Ryan has an 0.86 ERA in 31 in the third innings, good enough for a 1-1 WAR, which has been unbelievable. He won a crazy scoreless streak, and he's our only non-closer, which shows you how good he was this year. Our second reliever, and the only Blue Jay on this list, is Ken Giles. He was horrible in 2018, but has revived his career in 2019 with the Blue Jays. He's second in the AL among relievers in WAR with 1.2. He has 11 saves and a 1.08 ERA with a 1.17 FIP. Our third reliever, and only Tiger on this list, is Shane Green. Shane Green has 20 saves so far this year with a 1 ERA, exactly 1, a 0.7 WAR, and has just been great for the Tigers, allowing them to win games late. Our fourth reliever is Indians closer Brad Hand. Hand has 20 saves this year, an 0.88 ERA, and an AL leading 1.4 WAR among relievers. And our final reliever is Yankees closer Aroldis Chapman. The hard-throwing lefty has a 1.1 WAR with a 1.35 ERA and 18 saves in 2019. And now our reserve position players. So let's start with first base. I guess as a first base / DH, it's Dan Vogelbach. This big Mariners man has hit 17 home runs and 40 RBIs in his rookie year, good enough for a 1.9 WAR and a 153 weighted runs created plus. And our third first baseman, also an outfielder, is Trey Mancini of the Baltimore Orioles, hitting 307 with a 140 weighted runs created plus, good enough for a 1.9 WAR. Our first second baseman reserve is the Yankees' DJ LeMahieu. DJ's had an unbelievable season with the Yankees when people thought, like me, he wouldn't do well in New York because he's more of a Colorado hitter. But he's done well in 2019, hitting 7 home runs for 41 RBIs, good enough for a 310 average and a 115 weighted runs created plus, along with a 1.9 defensive rating, giving him a 1.8 WAR. And our final second baseman reserve is Brandon Lau of the Tampa Bay Rays. This rookie's hit 14 home runs and good enough for an AL second base leading 2.3 WAR in 2019. And now for third base, I also had 2 reserves, the first one being Royals' Hunter Dozier. The only Royal on this list has hit 11 home runs with 33 RBIs, has a 314 average and a 158 weighted runs created plus, good enough for a 2.3 WAR. And our last third baseman in our reserves is defensive ace Matt Chapman of the Oakland A's. Matt Chapman has continued his power numbers with 16 home runs, 128 weighted runs created plus, a 507 slugging, and a 2.5 WAR. Now for shortstop, we also have 2 reserves, and this guy probably should be the starter, but I don't know, we'll see how it goes on, it might change. It's Xander Bogaerts of the Boston Red Sox. Bogaerts has had an unbelievable season, hitting 14 home runs, 46 RBIs, a 136 weighted runs created plus, and the 4th highest WAR in the AL with 3.1. And our other reserve shortstop is Marcus Semien of the Oakland A's. Semien isn't the best hitter in the world, but has been unbelievable defensively, rivaled only by Andrelton Simmons, who's been hurt. So really, he's been the best defensive player in the AL this year. He also has a 3.0 WAR, which is second in the AL shortstop race. And now we move on to our outfield reserves, and we have 4 for this one. Starting off with Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers. Gallo is second in the outfield with a 3.3 WAR and has 169 weighted runs created plus. Gallo has been injured, and if he hadn't been injured, he probably would be a starter in the All-Star game. Our next outfielder is George Springer of the Houston Astros. Springer's hitting 308 with a 643 slugging and a 421 WOBA with 172 weighted runs created plus. But he has been hurt, which drops him down in the reserves. Maybe when he comes back healthy, he'll move his way into the starting role. Our third reserve outfielder is Michael Brantley of the Houston Astros. Brantley's hit 10 home runs for 39 RBIs, has a K percentage of only 9%, hitting 306 with a 504 slugging and a 368 WOBA. And our final outfield reserve player and second to last overall is Tommy Pham of the Tampa Bay Rays. The second Rays outfielder to be on this list is hitting 299 with a 465 slugging and a 375 WOBA, good enough for a 2.3 WAR and 140 weighted runs created plus. And our final AL reserve player is catcher Mitch Garver for the Minnesota Twins. Garver's hit 11 home runs for 28 RBIs and an AL catcher leading 1.7 WAR. Oh my god, you have no idea how many times I mispronounced weighted runs created plus. This was probably one of the weirdest videos because I said so many strange things in this video. If I had a nickel for every time I mispronounced weighted runs created plus, I'd have like 13 nickels. That's a lot of nickels, man. That's like 65 cents or something like that. That's crazy. But thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, do whatever, I guess, and I'll come out with an NL one soon, I think. Maybe? Probably.